We are currently working on the third version of this video. If you're watching now, this is literally the third time that I've tried to make this video today. We're encountering some trouble with our streaming device and our streaming services. And so anyways, if you have already watched this invitation to join me, I apologize. It's here again. But what I'm doing here, Livingstone and friends of Livingstone, is I'm inviting you to join me and to read a book with me. Now, before we get into the book and all of that, I want to give you a little background. This week, something big happened in my world. A hero of mine, Ravi Zacharias, passed away, and it wasn't unexpected. He's had cancer and he's been fighting cancer for a number of years. But that fight ended this week, and I'm only somewhat sad about it because I truly believe that Ravi is in heaven with Jesus right now, and so honestly, we're the suckers. But I wanted to as I began thinking about the loss of Ravi and this hero, I thought about what he's meant to me because I first discovered Ravi Zacharias through these little things called sermon jams. And you can look up a Ravi Zacharias sermon jam. They're great. So somebody just took a little 3-minute clip of Ravi Zacharias speaking, and they added a background beat and a rhythm to make it almost seem musical. And it's a really powerful thing that these people created. And when I was 18 years old, I discovered these sermon jams of Ravi Zacharias, and from there I began listening to Ravi Zacharias when he was speaking at in the halls of academia at Oxford, at Harvard, at Yale, and Princeton. And then I began to listen to Ravi Zacharias as he would go through question and answer sessions with people that were antagonistic and skeptical of what he believed in. And so I watched him deal with them with grace and with love and with compassion. And I watched him as he answered their questions in truly powerful ways. And it helped me realize that there was an intelligence behind Christianity that I didn't see as I was growing up in the faith, that you don't have to check your brain at the door when you began following Christ. And so I really appreciate Ravi for the impact that he made in me, and that impact was seen over my decisions because from that point I moved forward in my education. I actually got a degree in philosophy, and specifically in defending the Christian faith with philosophical arguments, and so he impacted me and steered my future and into where I am now, where I firmly believe that there's reason behind the faith that we hold tight to as Christians. And what I want to do now is after thinking about Ravi and the impact he made, I realized I have a book that I ordered a couple of months ago. It's called Confronting Christianity, and I hadn't gotten around to reading it yet, and so I want to invite you. Why don't we read this book together? And Confronting Christianity it has 12 chapters, and each one of the chapters is centered around a tough question that's difficult for Christianity to answer. And so I'll read you some of the chapters, the questions that are being answered here, because I would love for you to read this with me so that you can wrestle with some of the real questions that a lot of people have, that you may have. And if you do, I want you to read this with me. Some of the questions are, aren't we better off without religion? That's the argument that's put forward by the late Christopher Hitchens or Sam Harris or Richard Dawkins, that the world would just be better without Christianity or without religion in general. The second chapter is, doesn't Christianity crush diversity? How can you say there's only one true faith? Doesn't religion hinder morality? Doesn't religion cause violence? How can you take the Bible literally? Hasn't science disproved Christianity? I can't wait to go through that one. Doesn't Christianity denigrate women? Isn't Christianity homophobic? How could a loving God allow so much suffering? How could a loving God send people to hell? And these are really important questions that a lot of times we sort of shy away from them because we're afraid of voicing our doubts, our fears, or even voicing some antagonism towards the faith. And if that's you, I want you to join me in reading this book. And I want this to be a place where you can come and you can bring your questions, you can bring your doubts, you can bring your fears, and we can work through them together. And we want to work through them the way that Ravi did, because when I watched Ravi, I loved what Ravi would do in these question and answer periods where Ravi would engage with people, and he fully embodied what you read about in First Peter chapter 3, where Christians are called to be ready to give a defense of the joy that is within them. And when they give this defense, we're instructed to do it with gentleness. And that was Ravi. Ravi was gentle and loving and kind and caring, even as he gave answers for the joy that was so evident within him. And I want to be that kind of Christian. And I want you to be that kind of Christian. So if you want to read through this book with me, I would love for you to join in with me. What I'm going to ask you to do is you're just a couple steps. You have to buy this book. It's Confronting Christianity. The author is Rebecca McLaughlin, and you can get it on Amazon. You can get it in Kindle version for $10. You can get it hardback like I've got for $18. You have 2 weeks to do that, because 2 weeks from now, we're going to host a quick little Zoom call where we're going to sort of lay out what we'll do together. And then every week we're going to read through one chapter of the book and come together on a Zoom call in order to discuss what we're reading, what we're discovering, what we're thinking, what we're wrestling with. And I want to wrestle these ideas alongside of you. I don't want to wrestle you. I want to wrestle with these ideas alongside of you so that we can both grow in our knowledge, our understanding, and hopefully our faith in Christ. So I would love for you to join. If you want to join, comment on this video and we'll follow up with you. I'll post another invitation a week from now, but I would love for you to grow with me as we study this book, Confront